My name is Buddy Bakersmith. I'm the chairperson of the Dartmouth Community Preservation Committee. I have had the pleasure of being on the committee for a number of years, and we have had 20 years of the Community Preservation Act in the town of Dartmouth as of 2022. And as a committee, we thought it was really important to step back and take a look at what the accomplishments have been for the Community Preservation Act in our town. The Preservation Act was a unique piece of legislation that was passed back in 2002, I believe. And the Act provides a revenue source and also a mechanism for local control. So what I'd like to do is just talk a little bit about what the CPA has meant to the town of Dartmouth in those first 20 years. We are a 9-person committee, and by legislation that membership consists of a representative from the Housing Authority, a representative from Conservation Commission, a representative from the Town Planning Committee, and the representative from the Historical Commission. And then there are 4 other at-large members. In the 20 years with the CPA in Dartmouth, we have invested approximately $14.3 million of CPA funds, and that includes $11 million of surcharge revenue over those years from town residents, and about another $4.8 million from the state of Massachusetts in its CPA matching fund. Of those funds, of that kind of $15.8 million that we've collected, we've committed about 91% of those funds. And I think that's important because a real commitment of the CPC is that the town realize tangible benefits from the CPA.
DNRT is a fully nationally accredited land trust, and we've been in operation since 1971. Our role is to protect the most important natural resources in Dartmouth by working with landowners and in partnership with the town and other conservation organizations. CPA has been really important to a number of really critical land protection projects that DNRT has accomplished. With the support of CPA, we've been able to protect almost 800 acres of property, really critical habitat and publicly accessible trails in Dartmouth. In addition to the almost 800 acres that we've protected of really important critical habitats in Dartmouth, the CPA has been totally critical to our renovation and establishment here of our headquarters on Chase Road. Helfand Farm and the farmhouse that we use as our office dates to the 1800s, and so having that support to renovate and do period appropriate, aesthetically pleasing renovations and add-ons to this building really is important to our mission and our role in town. One of the things that people outside of Dartmouth know DNRT best for is the daffodil fields that we have at Parsons Reserve in Russell's Mills. This is a spring attraction that brings people from all over New England and is featured in all kinds of media publications. Having opportunities like that to showcase not just our work, but Dartmouth in general, is a really great opportunity, we think, for the town and for DNRT in terms of gaining future support and really having folks recognize the importance of protected space.
My name's Elizabeth Frary. My husband and I own Copacut Farms, which is the farm that we're here on now. And we were able to begin farming this land because it was preserved by the town of Dartmouth. There was another farming family on the property. They were intending to sell it, and the town of Dartmouth stepped in and purchased it using CPA funds with the intention of it remaining as farmland. And then we participated in a competitive process for a request for proposals to be able to be the farmers that were placed on the property. And we were awarded the property, and initially we just leased it, and then sort of when everyone got their ducks in a row, we were able to purchase it. And that was about 5 or 6 years ago now, maybe 7. And so without that, and without the CPA funds that were available to purchase the land off the previous farm owner, we would not have been able to be on this property. And so when we came here, it was just open land. None of the buildings or anything was here. There was just one small pole barn on the building. And over the last 12 years, we've put up agricultural structures, and we've put in the things we would need. And now we raise chickens, turkeys, pigs, sheep, and laying hens, which are behind me, on the property. And then all of the meat and eggs that we get from the animals, we then sell in the community. So we either do farmers markets in this area or in the Boston area, and we also have a home delivery service.
Since its inception, the CPA Act has contributed to the park system quite heavily in Dartmouth. We've received over $1.7 million in community preservation funds since CPC started over 20 years ago. The first project that we did is right here behind us. It's the Gulf Hill Dairy Bucket that we used historic funds, preservation funds to restore, move down here from the YMCA and prevent the building from being demolished. It's now currently our concession stand here at Apponeganset. We've also used CPC funds in this particular park on several other projects. The pavilion right here to my right was also constructed in part by community preservation funds, as well as the renovation to the bandstand here, which also made it handicap accessible, and obviously folks know is used quite heavily during the summer months. In addition to that, at some of our other parks, we've been able to utilize CPC money for the renovation of our playgrounds. At all 4 of our larger park facilities, we've recently and are still in the process of renovating our playground system to bring it up to code with current ADA access requirements. As we move forward into the future, we do have some funds from CPC. We're going to be building a permanent dog park at the regional park on Old Fort River Road. So those are some of the projects that we've utilized CPC for here in the park system to date.
Hi, I'm Connie Desbian, and up to a year ago I was the former Executive Director of the Dartmouth Housing Authority. And I'm here to tell you today about how much the CPC funds have helped our most recent project, the O'Connor Sisson Veterans House, which was built and finished in 2018. At the very beginning of this project, we came before CPC for some study money, and they gave that to us, and we were able to do a research, so to speak, whether we needed this type of housing in this town. That being said, we did need it, and we came back to CPC, and they then gave the project $500,000 to start with the development of that project. They, along with other funding sources from the state, helped us to put 9 units of veterans housing in the old former state police barracks on State Road. CPC and the town have continued to support development of housing in the town. Without that, we probably would never have gotten the project off the ground. Most recently, CPC has given Partners in Housing, a nonprofit developer, $1 million over 2 different awards for a new development which will have 10 units of elderly housing for clients of the Department of Mental Health. We're looking forward to building this building, and again, without CPC funding, we would not have been able to do it, and we thank you for it.
My name is Diane Gilbert, and I'm the president of the Dartmouth Heritage Preservation Trust. We're a nonprofit comprised of board members who are also volunteers. No one gets compensated on the Dartmouth Heritage Preservation Trust. And our main focus, ever since we were formed, which was back in March of 2007, was the 1762 Aiken House. And it's been a long journey for us. And before us, the Waterfront Historic Area League had purchased this property using Community Preservation Act funds that was funded by town meeting. The Community Preservation Act is very near and dear to me. Back in 2001, the town organized an ad hoc committee to investigate whether or not the Community Preservation Act